I guess you love movies. I do too. Hi guys, and welcome to another movie review, the one you've all been waiting for. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, is directed by Gareth Edwards, stars Felicity Jones, Forrest Whitaker, Mads Mikkelsen, and a lot of other people, and is about the Rebels' attempt to gain the Death Star plans, and how all of that happens, and the recruiting process, and how they go about trying to win an advantage over the Empire. So, I've been pumped for Rogue One for a while. You've seen it in my last few videos, talking about trailers, talking about my anticipation. I'm a massive Star Wars fan, been for a long time. You can see from Mr. Luke there and Vader up in there, the posters and all of that stuff. I'm a massive Star Wars fan, have been for a long time. I was pumped for this movie. I was pumped for Force Awakens last year, and I loved Force Awakens last year, and I was almost anticipating this movie to maybe even get above it, and maybe, you know, challenge it for the best Star Wars movie of the last few years. And I was really pumped for this movie. So going in, went to see it yesterday, really wanted to see it, really pumped. Saw it at 1:30, not in the morning, because that's stupid. I value my sleep. I value my life most of the time. Most of the time I make good decisions. I made a good decision this time. Just not often. But I did see it at 1:30 in the afternoon, had my lunch, and I'm here to tell you about what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, my thoughts, my feelings on Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So firstly, I'm going to start with the positives. The positives, unequivocally, the visuals are incredible. Visually, this movie is the best looking Star Wars movie we've ever seen. The Force Awakens had incredible CGI. This movie matches it, maybe even surpasses it. The CGI in this movie is incredible. Really, there is no excuse for bad CGI anymore. This movie's CGI is flawless. It blends brilliantly with the characters and the humans on screen. And I absolutely love the CGI in this movie. I love the visuals in this movie. I loved how gritty this world felt. It felt lived in. And of course, the most important thing about Star Wars is its world. Making the world feel real. Making the world feel inhabited by people and things. And making it feel like it's a real place in time and space. And it does this fantastically well. That's one of the biggest positives of this movie. I think the action is great. I think the beach scene right at the end is fantastic. I think it's really well shot, really well helmed. I think some of the action is fantastic. And I think a lot of the people in the action scenes do a really good job. And I really enjoyed those scenes a lot. Very exciting and very thrilling. I also enjoyed some of the characters in the film. I definitely enjoyed K2SO. K2SO was a badass. I loved the guy. He was funny, he was entertaining, he had heart. He was a mixture of all of our favourite droids. He's C-3PO, R2-D2, Han Solo, and Chewie, all combined. He has the strength of Chewie, he has the one-liners of Han Solo, he has the I can unlock anything of R2-D2, and he has the stats and the sort of, you know, the logic of C-3PO. He doesn't have the cock-blocking abilities, though. We all know what we're talking about there. However, I really love K2SO. I thought he was awesome. I did enjoy Jyn in the film as well. Felicity Jones' character, she was very enjoyable. She had quite a lot of backstory, and that made you really care about her when the big sort of climax hit. And I enjoyed her character quite a bit. Another character that we've enjoyed for a long time, since really 1977, to be honest, and that's Darth Vader. And Darth Vader was awesome. I mean, what did you expect? Darth Vader was awesome, but I'm just going to let you know Darth Vader's not in this movie very much. Maybe you're expecting a lot of Darth Vader. I wasn't, personally. I sat here in that chair, discussing the trailer, and taking the piss a little bit, and pretty much saying that I didn't expect much Vader, and I didn't get much Vader. But what Vader I did get, I bloody loved Vader. I mean, there's one scene with Vader in this movie. It's my favourite scene in the entire movie. It's fucking awesome. It's so good. It's like, I was sitting there with my mouth open. Vader is such a goddamn badass, it's unreal. He's so good. I love him. He's amazing. I have a tiny little nitpick with Vader, though, which is really not his fault. But James Earl Jones, obviously, he's a lot older now, you know. 1977 he did those voiceovers for Star Wars in the 80s and all that stuff. His voice has changed since then, and I could slightly tell. I can slightly tell that he's a little bit older. You know, I can tell his voice sounds older. But, tiny little nitpick. But maybe we could have got more Vader, because that leads me into the negatives, and really, other than the characters I've mentioned, it's the characters. The negative of this movie is the characters, because the first half is messy. The first half is messy. It struggles to set up all its characters because it's trying to set up this world, it's trying to set up this situation, it's trying to give you all this exposition of all these different places, all these different planets that you've never heard of, all these different systems, all of these different situations, where the rebels are, where the Empire is. It's trying to set up all of this stuff that it forgets, other than Jin, who does have a good backstory, it forgets to give a backstory to all of your characters. None of the other characters have really any characterization or backstory. Really, they're just there. They're just thrown in the deep end with Jin, who's had a backstory, and all of the others are kind of just cool. You know, they're cool, and they got, you know, they say cool things and funny things, and they have some good dialogue, but really, there's a lack of depth in character here. And really, none of them I'm going to remember. Which is unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. That's the same thing with the villain in this movie. He's okay, he's fine, but when you put him in a scene with Vader, he has one scene with Vader, and he's completely overwhelmed. And of course that's what they're trying to do, but it just signifies to me that he isn't anywhere near the level of villain we need, and the level of villain we need is in the movie. Maybe we could have just got a tiny bit more Vader, you know? Just a little bit, because I wasn't expecting loads of Vader, but seeing the movie, we probably could have had a little bit more of him, and it wouldn't have been a problem. But I'm not really too bothered about the Vader thing. Really, the main issue for me is the fact that the characters do fall flat in this film. And then there's a few other nitpicks, like, there's a few plot inconsistencies in this movie, and I can't really go into it without going into spoilers, which I will do in a later video, probably next week, talking about spoilers in this film. But I can't really go into it, but there are a few plot inconsistencies like where you're like, what? Like, why would you do that? That doesn't make sense to me. But those are pretty much my negatives to the film, and overall I really enjoyed Rogue One. It was a really good fun time. It was a great action sort of team-up movie. It was kind of like a sort of like team-up western in the Star Wars universe. It was fun, but it did miss a few beats, it did miss a few things that, you know, it disappointed me slightly in different areas, but overall I enjoyed Rogue One. It isn't a better film for me than The Force Awakens. I feel like The Force Awakens strived to make great characters, and it really succeeded in that way. And even though, yeah, it lacked a little bit of originality, yeah, it had similarities to A New Hope, but the characters, the new characters, they were so memorable and so well written and so well performed that I can look over the similarities to past films. I'm not going to say, like, people are going to pretend like this is the most original movie ever. Rogue One does have similarities to old Star Wars movies. It's not like it's just this completely original film. But it sounds like I'm hating on this movie, but I really enjoyed Rogue One overall. I think it's a good film, a very good film, not quite a great film, and I think I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. So there you go, that's my long anticipated review of Rogue One. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, drop your comments down in the section below. What's your favourite Star Wars film? If you've seen Rogue One, what did you think of it? Did you think it was better than Force Awakens? Did you think it wasn't as good as Force Awakens? What was your thoughts on that? All your thoughts, your comments, drop them down in the comments section below. And hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Goodbye.